Good evening, Rotorua. Tonight on City News, more than 200 people attended the meeting last night of the Rotorua Inner City Focus Group. 17 Rotorua schools have connected to the government's Network for Learning program, and the Waikato Bay of Plenty Magic remain philosophical about their season after losing last night to the Queensland Firebirds. More than 200 people attended the meeting last night of the Rotorua Inner City Focus Group. The meeting was a chance for the group to update on progress and future developments regarding the revitalisation of the inner city.
Kia ora, good evening ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Rotorua District Council chambers. It is great to see such an amazing turnout tonight on behalf of the Rotorua Inner City Focus Group and who worship the Mayor Steve Chadwick. I'd like to welcome one and all here. I think the turnout certainly shows the level of passion and interest that the wider Rotorua community has in tonight's subject matter, the update on the initiatives for the Rotorua CBD and the heart of the city.
Mike, good to have you on City News tonight. Now, we're having a bit of a gathering here at the Council Chambers. What's the purpose of the evening?
It's a meet and greet. It's for the wider business community and residents of Rotorua City. It's an opportunity for us to get together, to get to know one another, find out what's happening within the inner city, what we've done, what we've achieved in the last 9 months particularly, what we hope to achieve in the next 9 months, 10 months, where we're going. We're talking about 2016, we're talking about Vision 2030. So our concern is the inner city basically and the CBD area. And we decided that some time ago we needed to put a stake in the ground and take it back and say we needed to look after it. It's the community's responsibility to do this. You know, we often sort of put these things aside and think somebody else is going to do it, council's going to do it, or there's somebody else sitting over there in that corner and they're going to actually do it for us. It doesn't happen. People have to make it happen. People have to take responsibility.
The meeting also doubled as a meet and greet for the recently launched Raising the Bar campaign, which featured a visit by New Zealand MasterChef judge and chef Ray McVinney. Mr McVinney asked people to email him about their Rotorua experiences at rotoruafood@gmail.com. He will also be back in Rotorua on July the 28th to present a workshop to share his experiences in the city. More Rotorua schools have access to fast internet, with 17 schools now connected to the government's managed network and several more signed up to get it. Local MP Todd McLeay says the government is investing $211 million in the Network for Learning, or N4L program, which will provide quick and reliable internet complete with uncapped data, web filtering and network security services for participating schools. Mr McLeay says there were more Rotorua schools who were signed up and waiting to be connected, and others who had registered interest. He says access to fast internet will help connect Rotorua schools with the world and prepare students for living and working in the 21st century. Cobb & Co General Manager Chris Churchwood says he's surprised by the restaurant's nominations in the Rotorua Hospitality Awards. The new Cobb & Co opened 2 months ago, yet has already earned nominations in the Outstanding Restaurant category as well as the Top Bartender category.
It's been a wild ride. It's been really exciting. The store's exceeded our expectations as far as we're doing. We're basically getting on average around about 1,900 people coming through the place per week. So if you look at that, that's phenomenal. It's about how what do we do from here? How much further can we grow?
And in sport tonight, the Waikato Bay of Plenty Magic have lost their opportunity for a spot in the grand final of the ANZ Trans-Tasman Netball Championships after losing an absorbing preliminary final 54-50 to the Queensland Firebirds in Brisbane last night. With 9 new faces ushered in this year and a new coaching staff in Julie Fitzgerald and Margaret Forsyth, there is plenty to admire about where they've come from and the future growth. To your weather update now. Tonight a few showers, fresh westerlies and an overnight low of 9. Tomorrow for Wednesday a shower or 2, fresh westerlies, high of 13 and a low of 5. And looking out to Thursday, brief showers, strong southwesterlies, a high of 13 and a low of a fairly chilly 3. In the marine forecast for Lake Rotorua for Wednesday, westerlies 15 knots, easing to 10 knots late evening. Waves less than half a metre. Mainly fine though with the odd shower. Still to come tonight on City News, we meet local MMA amateur Rini Apo as he prepares to represent New Zealand in Las Vegas at the MMA World Champs. We find out more about free dental work offered recently by Lumino the dentists. And we cover the road safety presentation held by racing legend Greg Murphy at Lakes High last week.
Well, I'm down at Spartan's gym today, and I'm catching up with a young fellow who's representing New Zealand at the 2014 International Mixed Martial Arts Federation World Champions over in Las Vegas. Renee, welcome to the show. Now, obviously, representing your country is a pretty big honour. How did you get selected to represent New Zealand at the World Champs?
I don't even know. I don't really know. I was just texted a couple of Fridays ago, saying I'd been selected. It was organised behind the scenes. I don't really know how I was selected or what the process was for being selected. So.
Wow, you just got a text. That's pretty unusual.
yeah, that's about all I can say. That's how I found out, and yeah, that's the first I heard of it. So.
Is it the first time you've been to a big tournament like this before?
Yeah, yep. I've only had 2 cage fights, one down Palmerston North and one in Rotorua. So they're both small events. So it's a big eye opener.
Now, MMA is various different martial arts all mixed in together. Do you have a specialised technique or a specialised style that you fight with?
Yeah, I like to stand up, like Muay Thai and boxing, but I've been doing BJJ as well. That's on the ground stuff, like submissions and stuff like that.
Sounds painful.
Yeah, it can be at times, but.
Yeah. So when about you heading away?
27th of July I leave. I'm there for about 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yes. You know, obviously you're at the World Champs, so you're going to be coming up against some people from all around the world. Have you got any idea who you're going to be competing against?
No, I have no idea. I do know I'll probably be a lot smaller than the other guys because it's up to 120 kilos.
So that's heavyweight division, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So are you a black belt in any specific style?
No, I'm still a new learner.
You go to the World Champs.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool honour. Have you represented New Zealand in anything before?
No. That's first time.
Yeah. So what about here at Spartan Gym when you guys are training together? What sort of things do you do?
We do everything. We do BJJ and we do Muay Thai as well.
What's BJJ?
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's just on the ground stuff. Grappling and yeah.
Cool. Are you a pretty big fan of UFC?
Yeah. Every week, every time it's on, I make sure I watch it.
Is that somewhere where you'd like to go?
Yep, that's my goal, is to make UFC. Get paid to do what I want to do, or what I love to do, so it'll be good.
Do you like being hit? Because I know some people that are into mixed martial arts, they don't mind being hit, they don't mind the pain.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It makes you learn, I guess. You learn the holes in your game, and you know what you have to work on if you're getting hit all the time.
Where do you think your strength is in that regard?
Probably my striking. My striking will be probably the strongest. But mind you, I've been working a lot on my ground game, and it's coming along pretty well as well. Pretty good as well. I don't think there's too many holes in my game. So.
We'll find out, won't you, in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty exciting for Rotorua boy heading over to the big games over in Las Vegas.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you're going to have to do some fundraising. So, what sort of things have you been doing?
We're doing a hangi this weekend. We done an island plate last weekend, and our sponsors have given us a few things to raffle off in that. So.
Cool. Now, you mentioned some island food there. So, are you from the islands yourself?
I'm my partner. My partner, she's Cook Island. Yeah.
And how about you?
Yeah, I'm Māori Tukalawan.
Well, that's a cool mix, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, what sort of things are you looking to do when you get over? Obviously, you want to win.
Yep.
Have you set yourselves any goals to compete?
No, just to win, and I'm staying for another couple of weeks to train afterwards. I prep for my fight here on the 26th, I think it is, of July. So.
Yeah. What sort of is that a national champ as well?
No, that's just a small show up in Auckland.
In the cage?
Yeah, not in the cage.
Well, I'm quite keen to see you in action because you've got some of your buddies here waiting to... he looks pretty angry. No? All right, so we see you in action?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Cheers, man. Well, education seems to be the key to good oral hygiene, and that is one of the aims of Illumino Day, as explained by dentist Johannes van der Walt. We're going to catch up with him and find out what's happening. Hi Johannes, thanks for joining us again on City News. Now, last year we caught up with you because it was the very first Illumino Day where you offered free dental treatment to people around town. How successful was it last year?
Oh, I think it was a great success because Lumino all over the country, like more than 20 practices participated last year, and this year it will be 25 practices.
In dollar terms, how much free dental care was actually given out?
Last year it was around $130,000.
Wow.
This year we aim for $150,000.
So for you here in your practice, how many clients would that equate to?
About 25. So we're going to be limited to what we can do, but we're going to work hard.
Now, obviously, this is all around Kids Can and Illumino and providing education to kids, but this is not for the kids, though, is it? This free dental treatment is for their parents.
No, the kids are, they get their treatment through the school system, but it's for the adults, because it's suffering families and the adult family members are treated in this.
Now, last year, did you get people coming in for all sorts of problems, or was there one particular problem that stood out?
There were quite a lot of emergency work needed.
Wow.
A lot of extractions. Cleaning was really, gum problems was, I would say, the number one problem.
Yeah. That's pretty amazing, because you think as an adult you'd know that you need to clean your teeth and keep them, spick and span, but obviously not.
Yes, I think people need motivation and need to be educated in how to clean properly.
Yeah. Do you think it's probably not really on the priority list to go to the dentist?
I think it's low in those families. Yeah.
Now, with regarding to low-income families, they can actually get assistance from WINS, can't they?
They can, but very often they're not aware of problems before it's too late. And then they just go for emergency treatment. It's not so nice, extractions, and can be traumatic. So it's good to get them in and do some education and prevention.
Well, let's talk about the education and prevention a little bit, Johannes, because, like I said, you think adults would know that cleaning their teeth is important, but it also comes back to things like diet as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah, but I would say fewer people know how to brush correctly than we would think. It's quite a problem.
Yeah. So what do we need to do? As society and dentists like yourselves, what can we do?
Well, just education and providing the people with correct toothbrush and the knowledge.
Now, Illumino Day throughout the country, Johannes, is actually on Saturday, but you guys are actually doing this on Friday. What's that?
Yeah, well, we decided that it suits us better. More personnel will be available on Friday. So,
how grateful are people coming in when you've given away a free treatment?
Oh, very much, very much. They appreciate it. It's really heartwarming to see how much they would like the opportunity.
Yeah. Now, as a professional in the industry, fluoride has become another hot topic in media lately. What's your take on that?
I'm a little bit against fluoride mass medication. First of all, you need to apply it to clean teeth. So if you don't educate the children and they don't clean their teeth properly, what does it help? But there are harmful effects of fluoride. It's well documented.
So when you say it's well documented, there's obviously universities or people that have done research papers about it. Do you know any off the top of your head, just for an example?
It's, you can just research on the internet. There's a lot of worldwide, well-credited studies on skeletal fluorosis in old people. Wow. Because the fluoride builds up. It's cumulative.
I would imagine you as a dentist in the industry that that your peers wouldn't share your same views.
Yeah.
Is that challenging?
I know it is challenging, but I think it's the right thing to do.
So what would your advice be to the council, who obviously you're going to be talking about it and holding regular conversations with the community about this? What would your advice to the council be?
I think education is much more important, and then provide children with mouth rinses containing fluoride. Target the people or the age group that really need it. Don't go and mass fluoride, mass medicate the whole community, old people without teeth. They really, they can be harmed.
Cool, that's not a cool picture, is it? Well, before we go, Johannes, thank you for what you guys and your colleagues are doing around the country, because it's pretty awesome to donate a whole day of dental care to our community. So we appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Kia ora everybody, I'm at Rotorua Lakes High and I'm joined now by Greg Murphy. You will all know him as that very safe driver that's yelling at other drivers to stop texting on their phone when he's out there. So, hi Greg, thank you for spending some time with us. What have you been talking about today?
We're talking about lots of things, but really just trying to get across to all the kids, young drivers, the importance of just taking a little bit more time and putting a little bit more effort into being safe on the roads, because we've got not a great track record, and for me the biggest thing is just this unnecessary loss of life and lives being changed dramatically for the rest of people's lives, and I think a lot of it's unnecessary. I think there's more we can do, and we need to start with the young drivers when they're just getting behind the wheel and starting to get some skills, and try to persuade them to get some better training than what a lot of them get.
Well, I'm not a young driver, I'm quite an old driver, but I remember, I didn't have the best training. It was a bit of love your dad, but it was dad in the back paddock, round and round and round, and then, I actually had an accident when I was about 16. I broke my pelvis, so I know that once you lose control of your car, that's it. You're basically holding on and just waiting to see what happens.
100%.
100%. So have you ever had a car accident?
Yeah, I have, and it's part of the presentation. I made some pretty bad decisions one day. It was a long time ago, and I just finished an amazing summer. It was my last year at school, so year 13, Form 7 back then. And I'd spent the summer racing cars around New Zealand in a championship. It was my dream. And I came back to Hawke's Bay, met up with all my mates at Easter, and we were sort of, we'd all finished, and people had gone off to university and they'd gone off to start new jobs and all sorts of stuff, so we all sort of got congregated back together at Easter, and obviously a bit of drinking and a bit of fun and partying, all that kind of stuff, and I ended up getting behind the wheel of my car late on one night, Sunday night, and took a mate home, and on the way back I lost control of my car and stuck it into some trees, and it was just such an eye-opener for me, because I just, how could I do this? How could I make such a terrible decision and make such a mistake and put someone in danger?
And scary too, isn't it? Because, you do lose control, and when you've lost control, that's it. It's not in your control anymore. You're just waiting to see what you're going to end up.
Yeah, you're at the whim of fate and luck. I mean, that's where it ends up. And, and I was very fortunate the passenger in my car was slightly injured. But we both got away with it. Now, any other day of the week, 6 inches further forward, a foot further back, 2 k's faster, the result could have been very different. And unfortunately, for a lot of young Kiwis, and Kiwis in general, but young Kiwis, they don't get a second chance. No,
they don't. And so, obviously, you're Murphin schools and you're going round, and it must be very satisfying work. And obviously coming from a place, of personal motivation. So, what's been the key message that you've been trying to drive? Has it been a safe car? Has it been, making sure you're a sober driver? What is the key message?
There is a combination. I don't know if there really could be one, because lots of people do different things, and they've got different training and access to different things, and obviously money comes into it, all those kinds of things. So essentially, I think what I'm trying to do is just raise the awareness of the overall risk of getting behind the wheel of a car, and put some emphasis on that. When you're in a vehicle travelling along, it's a serious piece of mass that takes all sorts of forces to slow it down, to stop it, to turn it, do all those kinds of things. And just want to raise the awareness of overall of the dangers associated with getting behind the wheel, and that you need some skills. It's not something that you can just take for granted and do a couple of hours, learn to be able to change gears and turn the wheel and brake pedals, that kind of stuff. That's not enough. You need more skills than that.
And with this generation, technology is wonderful, but it can also be a little bit dangerous, because we've got all of these games in time-out zones where you go and sit in the car and you're racing the car around and you're feeling like you own the road, and then you're on PlayStation, and it's not quite the same when you get behind a real car, is it?
No, it's not, and that's what the games are for. So to be able to relieve all those pressures, and not reality, and then when you get behind the wheel of a car, it's reality. And it is serious. So, as I said, there's just way too many examples of tragedy, and I personally think that life is more important than a lot of things that we seem to put more emphasis on. And when it comes to a life skill such as driving and the dangers that are associated, we need to emphasise that and get that across.
And what's your personal opinion with the age of driving? And do you think that kids are too young to be driving?
I think, a couple of years ago that the age got lifted from 15 to 16. That was a huge change, massive change, and something that I applauded happening. Obviously, when you're 15 and you missed out on getting your licence at 15, if you were keen to get your licence at 15, you weren't so happy about it. But, it had to happen. I don't think we're going to see another change. I think 16's okay as long as the portions of the licensing system and the training associated with it, is enough. And at the moment, it's not enough. The reliance is on parents or older siblings to do a lot of the training. It's user pays if you want to get professional help and to teach. But I think everyone does need to have some professional training. So the next stage, I believe, is to incorporate some compulsory proper professional training into the syllabus of getting your licence, because we're just too underprepared, and we let kids loose in these deadly weapons way too early.
Well, that will be a campaign that we look forward to you driving. You drive that one.
I will.
There you go. Did you like the pun?
I just need the backing. Yes, a great pun. Great pun. You can be in the back seat.
Oh, very good. I will be. Thank you very much for your time.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
And also for the great work that you're doing around the country.
Cheers.
And that was V8 supercar racing legend Greg Murphy speaking there with City News' Kerry Danielle. If you have a news event TV Rotorua can support, call our office and talk with one of our friendly team on 07 34 88 984 or email news@tvrotorua.co.nz. If you missed anything on tonight's show, you can watch it again at tvrotorua.co.nz. Thanks for having us at your place. From all the team here at City News, Pomare.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.